Hi and welcome to the latest edition of BounceBack as we continue to try and stay positive and look forward to how we're going to be able to ready to get back into business as soon as we're able. Yesterday we had a little look at developing the plan and goal setting for a player, and we discussed towards the end about planning actual individual lessons. And I mentioned about tetafime, the way that we actually teach players the technical, tactical, physical and mental elements of the game, and how we intertwine these four elements to actually make the four key pillars to develop a player to get the ideal performance state, but also how we deliver individual lessons, making sure that we include all four elements. We do build a player from bottom up. So the key thing in the first place is to have that physical base. In the first place, we're focusing mainly on footwork, understanding the different footwork patterns that we need to have the ability to be able to move to the ball, to be able to hit it in the first place. Doesn't really matter how well we can hit the ball if we can't actually move to it and get in the right position to be able to hit the ball. So we start every lesson with some kind of footwork movement, whether that just be very, very simple stuff for beginners or developing into what we all know as the Spanish drills as the start of every lesson. Developing those footwork patterns, the movement and the ability to get around the court in the different directions that we need to be able to. Once we've established that, then we look at the technical elements. So the technical side of the strokes we're going to teach in that lesson, be it forehand, backhand, ground strokes, volleys, serve, topspin lob, drop shot, half volley, whatever the stroke is you're teaching. Once we've established the technique, then we introduce the tactics. So how can we tactically implement the technique we've just learned? And then finally, we put everything into some kind of competitive game, where we then introduce the simple basic mental skills, and again over time evolving that to help the players manage their rituals and how to manage that, what we call the in-between point time. When somebody's actually playing, we can't tell whether they're mentally tough or not. It's only when that's the time they spend between the points that we see the reaction, the response, and how they actually manage that time. There are a number of discussions obviously ongoing, and there probably always will be, which should come first, tactics or technique. And for us, it is the technique. You can have the best tactical brain in the world, but if you don't have the technical ability to apply that tactic, those tactics are useless to you. So understanding what your technical capabilities are critical to have a tactical approach to the game. We can look at virtually every player in the world and come up with a tactical way of beating those, but we don't have the technical ability to apply the tactics. So that's why for us the tactics comes after the technique. When we're looking across the board now, this is what I call the a la carte menu of putting together lesson plans. So in simple terms, we have the list of physical or footwork movements, then the technical, the tactical and the mental. Within the physical, 5 simple things: static, lateral movement, forward movement, backward movement, and then a combination of all these. Technically, here are some of the examples: ground strokes, forehand, backhand, ground strokes, volley, smash, lob, half volley, approach shot. All the different strokes are in there. And within those, there are many options. So it could be forehand, cross court, forehand, down the line. It can be all the different kind of volleys: low volley, high volley, medium volley, drive volley, drop volley. So there's many variations within these. Tactically, we're looking at percentage tennis, the risk and reward, and then look at low risk tactics, high risk, medium risk. Are we trying to win the point in 1 shot, 2 shot, or more than 2 shots? And then mental skills, from the very basics for beginners, which is the ready position, all the way through to developing those rituals, controlling the eyes between the points, handling defeat as well as being humble in victory. From this, we can then develop very simple lesson plans. Simply take one thing from each column, and that will give you a lesson plan. So for example, here, we're going to work on lateral movement on a ground stroke, let's say for example forehand, and we're going to work on low risk tactics, and we're going to be working on breathing out at contact as our mental skill. Another example, so we're working now on forward movement for an approach shot, pretty obvious, unlikely to be going backwards making an approach shot. Dual shot, so we could be working on the approach shot and the winning volley, and then the ritual, the between the point ritual. So again, now just one from each column, and we have a lesson plan. So you can just take the top line, static ground stroke, percentage tennis and ready position. That's a lesson plan. Second line, lateral movement for your volleys, risk and reward is your tactics, and we're working at breathing out at contact on your mental skills. Any of these combinations will produce a lesson plan. By the time you layer up all the different options within the technical elements, you literally have hundreds, if not thousands, of lesson plans using this very, very simple method of putting lessons together. You will never have to repeat lessons, always some level of variation, and giving you the complete lesson plan, making sure you're covering all of the 4 key elements. So again, these are the things you've got. You can actually download these off the website, the presentation's there, and I've also put a sample of a template lesson plan, and I've put it in Word document so you can edit it yourself and you can make it however you want it to fit, but it covers these 4 elements. And again, this is the ideal performance state. It's making sure we're covering all of the 4 elements that we need to produce an effective, efficient, competitive, winning player from the very beginning. And that's the key. So I hope you have a look at this, take some time out. Remember, we're asking you just to spend an hour a day trying to improve yourself as a coach, taking some time to self-reflect and review and plan for the future. So when we're ready and when we're able, we can bounce back and be ready to go. As always, in the meantime though, please stay safe, stay well, and take care. Cheers.